Hi guys, how's everybody doing today? A couple of things I wanted to say to let you all know. I started a group on Facebook. It's a private group. So that when a private group means that it's closed, or somebody said, oh, I tried to join, but it's closed. No, you can still submit to be a member or join, and then it'll just say pending. But it's a closed group so that nobody can see what anyone writes in there. The group name it will be visible and what the group's about, but no one's posts or anything that we discuss will be available to anyone else on Facebook. Okay? So it's a true crime chat with Mommy Ramblings group is what it's called. I will have the link in the video description, but the link is also on the community post that I post, and I believe it's also in the last video description. So if you apply to be a member, then as soon as I get there and I approve, then you'll go in. I am going to need some help with moderating that group because I don't get to Facebook as often as I would like, and there's always people waiting to be admitted to the group, and then just in case we get a troll or two. So anybody that would like to be a moderator, I probably need, one or two, I guess, and then we'll see if it gets really big. We need more than that, but one or two is good to start with. So you can email me at Carolyn@mommyramblings.org, and that's another thing. I am trying to start a website other than my Mommy Ramblings blog for the true crime. I have the domain, I have everything there. I just have to finish designing it. But I'm going to have an email address that's going to be Carolyn at that address, and then I'm going to put that into a Google G Suite inbox. So I'm getting that set up so that all the true crime stuff can go to that one inbox, because it's getting crazy with all my Mommy Rambling stuff, because I'm losing emails in there and companies that I deal with. I'm like, they're like, did you get my email? And I'm like, no. And I'm sifting through 1,000 things. So yeah, it'll be much easier to keep track of everything like that. I was contacted. Okay, here's the deal. And this is why it confused me. I did the Darley router case, right? Well, I got contacted by someone that said it was her boyfriend, and now I know her real husband. He was in the documentary, if you haven't seen that, the, what is it called? Final Justice on ABC. There were 4 different episodes, that concentrated 4 different episodes that featured Darley Router's case and her appeal. So the husband, Darren, they got divorced in 2011, but he's still standing by her even though he hasn't seen her in 8 years, okay? Now, I got contacted by another Darren, which is really strange, but he showed me proof that he is her boyfriend now, and he gave me proof showing me his connection to the family and everything else. I got confused last night and thought it was the original Darren. You know what this is? Isn't that weird? Like Bewitched, the 2 Darrens? This is like the Darley case, 2 Darrens. And he even said, yeah, it's crazy that we both have the same name, but they're 2 different men. Okay, but they both are looking to raise awareness, especially to millennials. And because I asked him, why did you contact me? He said he said there's always so much hate on the videos, and that I didn't present it in much of a biased way, I guess, than I haven't watched other YouTube videos on that case. So I can't say, I don't know what the consensus is there. Now, I know we talked about saying the first husband might have had some stuff going on, but anyway, he now said that he thinks it's best if I interview her mother, okay? So he has contacted her mother and sent me the copy of the contact. We'll see. I'll let you know where that goes. I said ideally what I'd like to do if this goes through. I know, a lot of people would be very, very careful, because I have to weigh those aspects too of getting in the middle of something like this, okay, because this is all new territory to me. So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying 100% I'm going to do anything in this regard. I really have to research everything and, you know, talk to people and see exactly what I want to do here. But I would say if I'm going to do this, that I would do it one of two ways. If I got the software and everything set up on that new computer, and I have to get that all done, I could do an interview type thing like that, where the person is actually speaking, or I could do something where we send her questions. And if we do the one, you know, well, either one, if we do decide to do this, let's say either, it doesn't matter which way, I think in that Facebook group, I would post a post that you guys can put your questions, because from what he's telling me, you know, she'll answer questions and she will bring questions to Darlie. So I'm not sure on that. We'll see, I guess, where we go from here with that, but I'll keep you updated, because those of you that were in the live chat last night, I mentioned it because that's when I had just heard from this guy. And yeah, I was kind of confused about everything. I mean, I was looking more at the proof at that time and not really understanding what he was telling me about. I thought when he said husband, boyfriend, he was talking about the 2011 divorce. So that was my misunderstanding. But anyway, we shall see where that goes. And, you know, if we do talk to her mother and talk to her through her mother, I don't know, we'll see. But back to the Watts case. Yeah, I've been getting emails about, I don't know, guys, somebody's saying their comments aren't showing, and that they're asking other people if their comments are showing, and they can't see their, I really don't understand it. And so it's, believe me, I'm not doing anything to comments. The only comments that I will get rid of are ones that are hateful, okay? Ones that are, whatever, cursing me out, cursing our viewers out, I get rid of those. And thankfully there aren't that many of them. They usually get held in moderation and they're not even seen by anybody else. But if one passes through, I get rid of it. Other than that, and other than, you know, hiding something in the chat that's offensive coming through, which again, thank God, we don't get many of, that's the extent. I don't know even how to go about and hide someone's comments. People are saying they're not getting notifications. If you're not getting notifications, again, that's not something that's just specific to my channel. I see it on a bunch of channels. It could be, you know, just double check, make sure your email is correct on your YouTube account. Some people have said they had luck by unsubscribing and then resubscribing and then clicking the notifications button again. I don't know, other than to tell you contact YouTube, because it's, again, nothing that I'm doing. I don't even have time to figure out how to moderate someone's comments that they're not showing, and I wouldn't even do that. I don't even have issues that I would do that to anyone. So yeah, I just want to make that clear that I am not doing that, because there was a misunderstanding and somebody thought I was hiding their comments. I'm not hiding anybody's comments, and I have nothing against, if I was doing anything like that, believe me, there would be a valid reason. And if the person came to me and asked, I would tell them what it is. I'm not deceptive like that I'm hiding someone's comments and I'm not going to tell them. That's not me. That's not who I am. So yeah, definitely not. And just, what else did I have to get out there? That we have the Darlie thing, the new Facebook page, the website, and trying to think. That's about it. Sometimes do these true crime things while I'm baking something or I don't know, cooking or cleaning or in the kitchen or something, because it's getting crazy how long they are, and maybe we'll do some lives like that. I don't know. We'll see. I see all these lives and these people are like doing all this stuff, and I'm like, well, that's how they get stuff done. The interviews with Jeremy and Jennifer Lindstrom. And I did listen to these on audio, and I have the transcript. One thing I will say before we start, the wife, Jennifer, she seemed like a little put off that Shanann had said when they moved in, if she needed help, she'd love to organize because she loves to organize. And I was saying, like, wow, if Shanann had said that to me, I'd be like, come on over. Can you come over right now? Is right now good for you? And how many days a week can you devote to this? I don't know. I'm dying to find someone like that. I don't know. It's like that. Who's that? That my daughter made me watch that. Is that Marie Kondo? Is she the Japanese woman that loves mess? But I'm sorry. I saw this family, and I was half watching because I was probably editing a video, and she had this one couple, and their house was so cluttered, right? And she had this woman take out every piece of clothing and just make it a mountain on the bed. And to me, that is completely overwhelming, especially if you're in a situation like these people were, because sometimes she goes into a relatively clean house, not that bad, they can get through that pile. But the pile that was on this woman's bed, first of all, I don't know where she slept. Second of all, I know when I do anything like that, even if it's clean, you bring everything out, it's overwhelming. And then I kept seeing this mess, and they were like really overwhelmed, and she said she was freaking out. And then my daughter was on another episode, and I'm like, what happened to those people? Did it not work out well? I have to go back and watch it, because if those, and she's like, no, not really. And I'm like, well, I want to go see that, because, that was just, I don't know. I don't agree with that part of it. I agree with some of the things she does, but leaving people that are really, really messy and disorganized and telling them just to make this huge pile and then just leaving them and trying to come back in a week, wow, I don't know if that's too healthy for them mentally and physically, because I don't even know where the heck they're sleeping. Anyway, yeah, so long story short, yeah, I would take her up on the organization 100%. But I just felt like she kind of seemed and I may be wrong, but just in the video kind of seemed a little bit put off by it, as if maybe she took it the wrong way, and thought Shanann was saying, you're really a slob. I could come here and get you organized. But I don't think Shanann was meaning it like that at all. Some people just really love to organize things. I had a sister-in-law like that. I have a sister-in-law like that. She loves to do that. Unfortunately, she lives further from me than I would like, but one of the things she used to love was coming over the house that I grew up in and organizing my parents' pantry, and my parents loved it. Like, oh, Joan, I'm so glad you're here. There's the pantry. But she loved it. There are people that really and truly love doing that. And I tend to get really overwhelmed, especially if I pull everything out of something. There's no way I could do every single piece of clothing or every single draw. And the YouTubers that I like, just as we get into a little segue on that, because have you seen these like clean with me videos, and the people are cleaning? They look like they're in a model house cleaning, okay? It's like the biggest, they're like, oh, I'm going to clean my whole house today, a whole house clean. And you're like, well, what are you cleaning? That's not even cleaning. You're cleaning a clean house? That's okay. I don't need to see that. Or they do a fake mess. Have you seen the fake mess ones where their house is, again, model house clean, and they'll take the kids' toy chest, which is not even like a bunch of little Legos. It's like maybe 10 stuffed toys and 3 books, and they throw it on the living room. It's like they stage a little mess, but it's an easy to clean mess. It's not like a real mess. The channels that I like are the ones that they are cleaning a real mess. It's real life. There's this one, and I can't think of her name now, and I wrote a comment on her channel because I was so sick and tired of seeing these people that are cleaning these clean houses, okay? And it's just a video of them cleaning their already cleaned house. And I don't know, they must have a lot of time on their hands that they're just going to make a video about cleaning an already cleaned house. I mean, even when they're vacuuming, you could see the vacuum. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, I don't know. They're cleaning an already totally cleaned house. And there is this one lady that, she was really brave, because she was really saying that she was going to go on, and she lived kind of like a pack ratty kind of life. And it was, I don't know, her channel was like one day at a time, and she was going through, and that was very real. And then there's this other woman. She has 2 little kids. I can relate very well to this woman. And she will show her office like in a shambles with the kids' stuff and the papers. And my gosh, I could relate to that like crazy. And just that she doesn't just sum it up for you and say, oh, this only took an hour. And I got, no, she's like, no, this is like 4 days worth of videos. Okay. She speeds them up, but she doesn't sugarcoat it. I mean, she lets you see the real deal. And when she went into her bathroom, I was like, oh my gosh, this woman, I love this woman because she is so real, okay? And then you'll always get those people that have to come on because they have to come on, right? And instead, everybody's saying to her, wow, you've inspired me because I'm so sick of seeing people cleaning a clean house, and I thank you for letting me see the difference. And she shows the points where she's totally overwhelmed. She shows the points where she has to walk away from it, okay? And it's the most real thing you've ever seen, but in the end, she gets it done, okay? So it really gives you hope because, you know, like when she went through her bathroom and the drawers, and like I could relate to all the different products and all the different stuff that she has. And then somebody comes on and it's like, girlfriend, you know what you need to do? You need to stop buying so much. And like, what are you telling her that now for? She's in this. Is that really helpful advice? Okay. When she's done, maybe say, oh, now that it's simplified, you know, are you going to, what kind of changes are you going to make or whatever? But to go on there and they're like just so hypercritical and it's, you know, they always have to say anything but something, right? But I don't know, those were really, really, I don't know, very real and very helpful. And it's funny because my son was telling me something about what I thought was a mommy blogger. And he said to me, oh, you have to go see her channel. I can't even remember what the name is, but it had mommy something in it. But it really wasn't a mommy channel. It was really quite something else. And what disturbed me a bit was that in between what I call provocative cleaning videos, I think that's what I would call them. And I couldn't even click on the video. I saw thumbnails of her breastfeeding a baby and trying to give out pointers on it. But from what I gather from the thumbnail and from the other videos on the channel, it's almost like she's showing something about breastfeeding the baby, but under the guise of something else, if you catch my drift, right? And even my son said something about it. He said, I forget what he said, her kids are going to hate her when they get older, and something else. He said, did he say that somebody should call? I don't know what, he said something else, I can't remember what it was. But it's funny because he didn't think there were any actual real cleaning videos. Because when I said to him, no, there are real, he goes, no, Mom, they go to like a Patreon account after that. They do like this little tease on YouTube, and then they go to my Patreon, and they're like cleaning in the nude or something. I don't know. So I'm like, no, Ray. Believe me, there are real cleaning channels on YouTube. And I showed him some of the bloggers and stuff that I'm in other circles with. And he's like, oh, okay, wow. And I'm like, yeah, they're not like that other, I mean, this other one, like she's supposed to be reviewing a Roomba, but you should see what she's wearing and, you know, how she's cleaning. It's disturbing. But that I didn't find so disturbing as, I can't even click on it, so I can't even attest to it. Just from the thumbnail and the nature of the channel, but then the breastfeeding, I'm scared. That's too much for me to comprehend right now. So anyway, yeah, but there are real cleaning channels on there, and there's other communities. You know, sometimes I've been in those other communities. I'll tell you, once I've gone to the true crime community, it seems like, I don't know, that's where I'm been kind of consumed right now. But it often feels like when you're in one of those that's the only community on YouTube, and you have to realize there are so many more, right? So it's just weird. But the true crime, I have to tell you, this community is very supportive, very close, more so than I found in the other communities, like the blogger community, the mommy blogger community, all of that. Not that they're not supportive in everything, but it's totally different. I think because there's such an interest in these true crime cases, and it's different than anything like cleaning your house or doing a haul from some store. You know what I mean? But anyway, let me see. And I just find it so weird that so many that had YouTube channels like myself, like they were lifestyle YouTube channels, or they were makeup YouTube channels, or they were different types of YouTube channels, stuck their toe into the true crime. And I think a lot of them, because like me, it was just a natural passion of theirs. And I think a lot of times perhaps we were looking for more information on a case, and we're like, wow. And then thinking, like, well, I have more ideas on that. I'd like to elaborate on that. And that's how it was with me, really. I was looking for more information, and then I was like, oh, wait, I have so many different ideas on that. And like I said, I recorded the first video like 4 or 5 times and never put it up, and then finally did. And I'm very glad that I did, because I have really found a lot of other web sleuths in the community, and it's been a great experience. And it really gives me the opportunity to talk about these cases with people that are like-minded, and to meet a whole bunch of different people from all over the world. So it's been really, really rewarding. Anyway, let's get to Jeremy and Jennifer Lindstrom, and then we'll get to McKenna Lindstrom, and we'll look at their interviews and see if we can find anything. One thing about the discovery that I'm seeing, even if I look at an interview or something, I find that maybe I've skimmed it looking through the discovery, and there's always something I find in there that I didn't know before, or that makes my mind go to a different place, and maybe piece something together, like that stuff with the truck and why he was opening the hatch of the Lexus and the doors of the truck. The hatch of the Lexus, just a decoy to put the hatch up there, and he put the stuff through the door. I don't know. I'm just very, very intrigued by that. And now I heard, is it today that the Ruzak's wrongful death suit, I think it was like the last day that Chris could reply, but they said already that he's not gonna reply at all, and they're just gonna get a default judgment. So that kind of screws things up, because the default judgment means there's gonna be no case. It's just gonna be a default judgment. That's it. So we're not gonna see any other stuff brought up in there, and just shows that he wants to keep everything quiet. And I wonder what Mama Watts is saying, and Papa Watts, because why is he doing this? Is this he's falling on the sword again? Because he doesn't. I'm sure I know what they're going to say. They're going to say, oh, well, he doesn't want to do that to the Ruzaks and tell them how horrible their daughter was and that she killed the girls, right? Or whatever, whatever he plans to say, or that he was abused so badly in the marriage, so he's just falling on the sword again because he's in jail anyway. He's just going to fall on that sword again and not go through that. He just can't. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, we're not going to see anything come out of that except a judgment, as far as I can see. And tomorrow would be the due date for little Nico. So that's a sad date coming up for that family and for her friends. Let's get to this babysitter and her parents. We have an interview of Jeremy Lindstrom and Jennifer Lindstrom at their residence. This was on 8/14 at approximately, let's see, 17:34. That's, what is that? That's 5:34 p.m. Okay, so on 8/14 at approximately 5:34 p.m., Colorado Bureau of Investigation agent Matthew Saylor reported to their residence in Erie, Colorado, to interview Jeremy Lindstrom and Jennifer Lindstrom. Now, this is prior to Chris being arrested, okay? This is prior to him even going in for the questioning, because I think he went in at like 6:30, 7 o'clock. So let's see what they say. The interview was conducted in the dining room area of their residence and was audio recorded. You can listen to the audio. A copy of the recording is attached. Okay. During the same time, Agent Kevin Kobach interviewed their daughter McKenna, which we'll go over, in another room. Jeremy said that he worked with both Chris Watts and Shanann Watts at Longmont Ford. He said they moved to Colorado from North Carolina for Chris to work there, and Shanann later got a job there too. Yes, Mama Watts, they moved there for your son to work there. Maybe other reasons that, I don't know, maybe you wanted to get away from what was there in North Carolina. You can draw from that what you will. But yeah, Shanann didn't have a job there. Your son went there to work. Shanann later also got a job there. Neither Chris nor Shanann had worked at Longmont Ford for a couple of years. Chris and Shanann came to Colorado from North Carolina approximately 6 or 7 years ago. The Lindstroms described their relationship with the Watts as best friends, that you only see a few times a year, but it's as if you see each other all the time. Jeremy said that they saw the Wattses for birthday parties, on both, for both families, barbecues, and holidays. Chris said the girls, Bella and Celeste, were at the Lindstroms' residence on Saturday the 12th for their son Caden's birthday party. Chris was described as acting normal at the birthday party. And they said he's a quiet person that doesn't show much emotion. Really? We kind of see that. The Lindstroms said he was looking after the girls and that there were 5 or 6 adults and 5 or 6 kids at the party. Prior to the birthday party on Sunday, Jeremy last spoke with Chris on Friday the 10th. Chris texted Jeremy asking if McKenna could babysit on Saturday so that he could go to the Rockies baseball game because he had 1 ticket at work. Liar. On Saturday, Jeremy texted Chris telling him that he had Broncos tickets and asked if Chris wanted to go to that game instead. Chris declined, saying his work would be angry if he didn't use those Rockies tickets. Jeremy didn't know who Chris went to the Rockies game with. Jeremy, your friend Chris there, didn't go to any Rockies game. He went to NK's and then out to dinner at the Lazy Dog. She didn't like the menu. Wasn't clean enough for her clean eating habits, so she made him go to the other one. And then they went back to her house for another romp, and then I'm sure didn't wash his hands or anything else, got in the car, grabbed the cash out of the ATM. That's why you've always got to wash your hands when you touch those things, and you touch money. Money's the dirtiest thing in the world. And then gave that to your daughter and went into the house. So yeah. Did a lot of you get skeeved? Probably not if you're not a germaphobe or something. Maybe even if you're not a germaphobe, when Nate shook Chris's hand. Because I would have had to immediately go into even just knowing what I knew, like that if I thought there was something going on with that, I would have just if he took his hand out, it'd be there and it'd be immediately washing my hands. Yeah. Scrubbing them like a Silkwood kind of shower for my hands. Yeah. McKenna babysat for Chris on Saturday while Chris was at the Rockies game. Jennifer said she dropped her daughter McKenna off at 4:25 at the Watts' house, and she left to pick her up around 2200 hours, which is 10 o'clock. As Chris said he'd be home around then, Jennifer arrived 10 minutes later, and Chris was not home yet. She waited in her car with her sleeping son, and around 10:30, Chris arrived home. She said Chris pulled into the driveway, and she doesn't believe he knew that she was in her car. Jennifer said Chris was driving the white Lexus SUV. Jennifer said that when McKenna left, she came out of the front door and the dog followed her out. Jennifer said that Watts' girls have a very regimented schedule and that their bedtime is 7 p.m. McKenna told her that Chris had ordered pizza for the girls and that they ate and played for a bit. Before it was time to get the girls ready for bed, McKenna said that Celeste went to sleep, but Bella came downstairs and said she couldn't sleep. McKenna had Bella sit with her for a little bit and then took her upstairs, and Bella went to bed. McKenna said that the girls were very easy to watch. Jeremy and Jennifer did not know why Bella was unable to sleep. nor if it was normal for her. Jennifer said that the dog that ran out with McKenna is a dachshund named Dieter. The Wattses have no other pets. Jeremy and Jennifer said that they spoke with Chris at that birthday party on Sunday and that he seemed normal. Chris was telling them that he and Shanann knew the gender of the baby and that the gender reveal party was scheduled for this week. They asked Chris if he needed a crib, and he said he did not. Now, I listened to this interview, and Jeremy had said that he had thought he heard that they got rid of all of that type of baby gear, like the crib and everything, so he was very surprised when he offered the crib, and Chris said, no, we don't need it, we have one, because he doesn't believe Chris has one. So that shows a lot about what Chris was. Well, we know he was premeditating everything, but what he was thinking. Why would he worry even about a crib if he had one or he didn't? Because it wasn't going to matter. Towards the end of the party, Celeste fell on a swing in the backyard, and Chris comforted her, and Celeste said she wanted her blanket. Jennifer and Jeremy said that Chris has always been good with the girls. They described him as the mellow guy. Jennifer said that Shanann told him they weren't planning on having another child, but Chris wanted to, and she agreed because of how much of a hands-on dad he is. Now looking back, that's a really poor choice of words. Hands-on, right? He definitely was hands-on, not in a good way. And that he would always be there to help her. Yeah, not so much. Shanann told her this on Father's Day and seemed excited about it. Jennifer said in her previous pregnancy, Shanann had been ill, but this time she was feeling good. When asked about Shanann's medical conditions, Jennifer said that Shanann had lupus, fibromyalgia, migraines, and body pains. Before Bella was born, she was told by the doctor she probably wouldn't be able to have children. Jeremy said that Shanann was always kind of strange to him with all of her health problems. He said that she pronounced her name Shanann, but her mom pronounced it Shannon. Jeremy said that he felt Shanann was kind of rebellious. Okay, so Jeremy says she's kind of strange because she's got health problems. Okay, it's good to know that you're not judging people for their health problems. But also that she changed her name, and I think he's saying she's rebellious. But so what? I have someone that not only changed the pronunciation of their name, someone that I grew up with, changed her entire name because she hated it. Okay? She hated it, and she changed her entire name. And I remember finding out years later when speaking with her cousin, who I was closer friends with, and I'm like, how's so-and-so? And she's like, don't call her that anymore. She's changed her name. And I'm like, why would she change her name? She's like, ooh, because she had that name. And I don't know, usually, especially in today's day and age, people are naming people anything, but normally if you grow up with a name, you usually kind of grow into it and it's your name, but I guess she was never happy with that name and she changed the entire name, so I wonder what Jeremy would say about someone like that. I don't know if he's so put off by the pronunciation. Who knows? Maybe she wanted a little flair. Why does he have to call it rebellion? Maybe she felt the name was too plain, and she wanted to give herself a little bit of flair. Why should you be bothered by that? I don't understand, but I guess he was a little put off by it. So let's see. Jeremy said that Shanann was very meticulous with everything, and everything in her house is organized and labeled. Jeremy said that she was very particular and kind of controlling over Chris. He described a time when he was taking Chris to the airport and Chris couldn't leave until he had finished cleaning the basement. Jeremy and Jennifer both said Shanann had found the right person for her because she was a type A personality and Chris was a type B. Jeremy said that when Chris and Shanann worked at the Ford dealership, the dealership would hand both of their paychecks to Shanann because she handled the finances. Okay. Jennifer said that Bella and Celeste had a regimented schedule and a consistent routine that they follow at bedtime. Jeremy and Jennifer said that Shanann is very consistent and has been doing well with her Thrive business because she is consistent and follows through. Yeah, that's what you need for any business. Jeremy said that prior to Shanann starting Thrive, she and Chris struggled some financially. Jeremy and Jennifer said that Shanann was doing very well with Thrive and that the company paid for their car payment and Shanann won several trips. You don't win the trips, you qualify for them. They said she was somewhat frugal and cut coupons and at one point had a part-time job at the children's place so she could get a discount. Jennifer said that Shanann and Chris were planning on going to Aspen this weekend and asked McKenna to watch the girls from 4:30 to 8 o'clock on Friday because the person watching the girls over the weekend would not be available until that time. Jeremy and Jennifer said that Shanann was previously in North Carolina for about 5 weeks without Chris just prior to her trip to Arizona. Jennifer said she believed Chris went to North Carolina for the last week of Shanann's visit there. Jeremy said that previously Shanann's mother lived with them for an extended period of time, and a female from Hawaii also lived with them for an extended period of time last summer after Shanann had neck surgery and couldn't lift the girls. Jeremy said that Shanann is a person of habit and follows the same schedule every day, so it was strange to him when the girls didn't show up for the first day of school on Monday. I wonder if his kids go to the same school. Jennifer said that Shanann is an avid Facebook poster to the point that some people feel it is overkill. Jennifer said that Shanann will make numerous posts per day, including promoting her Thrive business. Jennifer said that Shanann likes to share everything, and it is very unusual when she hasn't posted anything on Facebook. But Chris didn't think of that. Jeremy and Jennifer said it would be very out of character for Shanann to disappear, especially without her phone, purse, and car seats. Jennifer said that Shanann always has her phone with her and is the kind of person that if you text, she will text you right back. Jeremy said he saw that Shanann's mom in North Carolina posted on Facebook that Shanann was missing, and he read it several times because he couldn't believe it. Jeremy said that he called Dave Colon, a friend who lives in Chris and Shanann's neighborhood, to go over and check on Chris. Colon called Jeremy back and said Shanann was indeed missing. And Jeremy immediately went over to Chris's house. Jeremy said this was around 8:30 and that it would be very unusual for the girls to not be in bed at that time. Jeremy said that he asked Chris if the girls' medications were gone, and Chris told him that Shanann could have taken spare medications from the basement. Jennifer said that Celeste is highly allergic to some things. Jeremy said he offered to stay all night with Chris. Jeremy said Chris's demeanor was just a blank stare. Jeremy said that Chris told him that he wanted to finish cleaning and go to bed. Jeremy said he didn't know if this was normal because everyone reacts differently, and maybe he was cleaning because he was stressed and nervous. Jeremy said Chris does clean a lot and do a lot around the house. I asked Jeremy if Chris seemed concerned, and he said yes, but more shocked. Like he didn't know what to do. Jeremy said he asked Chris a ton of questions, trying to figure things out. Jeremy said Chris never said anything about he and Shanann having a fight or anything like that. Jeremy said that Chris was on the phone with his mom and said that his mom told him that everyone was making it look like he did something on Facebook. There's that Cindy, right? Christopher, everyone is making it sound like you did something on Facebook. Can you believe that? Oh my goodness, those awful people to even suspect you. Oh wow, even though you're the last person that saw her and her car is in the garage and her purse is there. I still think she's punishing you, Christopher. She's trying to teach you a good lesson. This is all her maneuvering, you see? It's all a big ruse that she left all that stuff. Of course she left all that stuff. She's really trying to get you, you see? She's really trying to pin this on you. That's how badly she's punishing you, Christopher. I told you never to marry her. I told you she was bad news. I told you that skater boy comment just sealed the deal, but you didn't listen to me. You will now, right? Sorry for the rant. Okay. Chris never gave Jeremy his theory of what happened to Shanann and the girls. Really, Jeremy, because there was He didn't have a theory yet. He didn't plan that far ahead. He had thought he was going to be able to come home and plan this out a little better and get rid of the things. Jeremy said he asked Chris if they should go look in the park or go drive around looking for Shanann and the girls, and Chris told him no. The police told him to stay home because he wouldn't know where to look or what to look for. Yeah. The police told you that so they could keep an eye on you, Chris. Jeremy and Jennifer said it was strange to see the girls on the news and believed they were the last people to see them as they left from their house after the party on Sunday. Jennifer said neither Chris nor Shanann has family in Colorado, and they didn't know where Shanann would go if she just left to get away for a while. Jeremy said that if Shanann was cheating on Chris or if he was cheating on her, they aren't telling anyone and no one knew about it. Jeremy said they didn't strike you as the type of people who would cheat on their spouse, and Jennifer described them as cookie cutter. They both said that Chris and Shanann had the perfect life. Jeremy said that Dave Colon used to own a body shop in Longmont and fixed a lot of Longmont Ford's used cars. He said that Dave Colon lives in Chris's neighborhood, but he doesn't know the address. Jeremy provided a phone number for Dave Colon. Jeremy said that he and Dave Colon were at Chris's house for approximately 15 to 20 minutes, and no one else was there at the time. Jeremy said that Chris told him that all he can do is wait and hope the police find Shanann and the girls. Jeremy said that nothing in the house looked out of place and that the residence is always neat and clean. When asked about other friends of Chris and Shanann, Jeremy and Jennifer said they didn't know of any. Jeremy said they used to know a couple that Chris and Shanann were friends with, but that couple hasn't been around in years. Jeremy said that he believes Chris works a lot, and Jennifer said she believes Chris and Shanann hang out with people that they know through Thrive. Jeremy said that Shanann works 24 hours a day on Thrive and that they only see the Wattses 4 to 5 times a year. Jeremy said Shanann posts so much on Facebook that you feel like you're around her. Jeremy says that Chris was on social media only occasionally, sometimes posting something on Facebook about Thrive. Jeremy said that Chris has lost a lot of weight, and Shanann frequently posted about him being in shape, including pictures such as Chris doing push-ups with one of the girls on his back. Jeremy says that both Chris and Shanann have lost weight over the last couple of years and that they both contributed to Thrive. Jennifer said that they don't really know any of Chris or Shanann's other friends, and Jennifer said that they saw someone on the news who described herself as Shanann's best friend, but they didn't know her. Jeremy said that he didn't know if Dave Colon had stopped by Chris's house or talked to him in years. Jeremy said he learned that Shanann and the girls were missing when he saw her mom's post on Facebook saying she was missing. Jeremy said he didn't understand why Chris didn't text him asking if he'd seen Shanann and the girls. Because he knew where Shanann and the girls were, Jeremy, and he didn't think, that he had to text you to get you involved in this because he wanted the least amount of people involved in it as possible, not realizing that it's already on the news. Jeremy said that Shanann didn't come to the birthday party because she was in Arizona for a Thrive convention, which she told them about when she was over on Father's Day. Jennifer said it was normal for Shanann to be out of town for her Thrive business and that Chris takes care of the girls when she's gone. He takes them to birthday parties and other events on his own. Good job, Chris. Jennifer said that when they arrived at the birthday party, Celeste and Bella had their hair in ponytails, which Chris must have done. Jennifer said it seems as Chris does a good job taking on that mom role when Shanann was gone. When asked what they thought happened, Jeremy said he didn't know, and you couldn't put anything past anyone. Jennifer said she also didn't know and thought that if Shanann is stressed and pregnant, she might walk away. Jeremy said he worries that Shanann doesn't have any of the issues that she claims she has. Jeremy's worrying about that. Okay. Jeremy shouldn't stay up nights worrying about that. Probably a lot of other things on your side of the fence that need to be taken care of. When asked to explain this, he said when a commercial would come on television for a disease, Shanann would claim to have that condition. He said that Shanann told them that she would never be able to have kids, and now she's on her third one. He said he didn't think that Shanann had all of the conditions she claimed to. He said he wouldn't put it past her to just leave. Okay, Jeremy, maybe the things that came on TV were things she actually had, like lupus or migraines or fibromyalgia. Okay, and there are many, many people that I know that say, oh my gosh, I was told I never could have kids, and now I'm having my third, and now I'm having my fourth, blah, 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 blah. Are you saying that they didn't tell her that? Of course she's going to say, they told me I couldn't have kids, and now she's on her third. They were thankful for that. That's not an uncommon thing. Jeremy needs to get out a little more. Jeremy said he didn't think Chris would ever harm a fly, and wondered if Shanann's OCD and honey-do list had gotten to Chris. Just like, do you remember in the beginning I said it's like the end of Psycho, where Norman's in there and he's like, let that fly land on me and they'll see I didn't do it. She won't even harm that fly. And he's talking in the mother's voice, right? That's what I've said about Chris. Yeah, he's not going to harm a fly. Okay. Yep. Not going to harm a fly. And maybe it was that honey-do list, it threw me right over the edge. Yep. That organizing she did. Threw me the freak over the edge. Yeah. Okay. No, it's probably his mistress and the pressure. Jeremy said he doubted it, and that Chris's personality didn't convey something like that. Jeremy said there's no way Chris would ever touch his girls. Jeremy said that both Chris and Shanann were excited about having another baby, and that Shanann loves having kids and posts everything about them. He said that if they were having marital problems, they hid it well. Jeremy said that he thinks Shanann might walk away and disappear to get attention. Talking to Cindy. Jeremy and Jennifer said they didn't have any further information. Okay. So I wonder if he heard when Chris was talking with his mom. He probably heard that mom's version. Who knows if he even spoke to Mama Watts there. Anyway, let's go to McKenna. Okay, so this is the same day in another room, right? This is Kevin Kobach. Christopher reportedly hired a babysitter, McKenna Lindstrom, for his daughters the evening that he went to the Rockies game. McKenna is the 17-year-old daughter of Jeremy Lindstrom, who is a friend of Christopher. The Frederick Police Department requested I contact and interview McKenna and Jeremy Lindstrom. Jeremy is my dad and is friends with Christopher and Shanann Watts, McKenna says to the officer. All three previously worked at Longmont Ford. Chris was a mechanic, Jeremy worked in sales, and Shanann worked in sales. They all worked there between 2013 and 2014. Shanann is currently a promoter or an advertiser for Thrive. Chris contacted Jeremy on Friday on the 10th and asked if McKenna would be available to babysit his daughters on Saturday evening. McKenna agreed to watch Bella and Celeste from 4:30 until 10 p.m. on August 11th. McKenna had never babysat for the Watts prior to that. McKenna recalled that Chris was going out with his friends, and this is why he needed a babysitter. Lindstrom drove McKenna to the Watts' house on August 11th and dropped her off at 4:30. Chris, Bella, and Celeste were at the home. Shanann was not home. McKenna knew that Shanann was in Arizona for business, as she had seen a post by Shanann on Facebook. Chris met with McKenna, ordered a pizza from Papa John's, gave the girls their medicine, and gave her directions to put the girls to bed at 7 p.m. McKenna said Celeste had a severe tree nut allergy. Chris showed McKenna baby monitors and showed her the girls' rooms so she could watch them after putting them to bed. McKenna said Chris left. McKenna said that Chris was wearing a white t-shirt, black jeans when he left the house. She was unsure if he picked up or drove away from the home. While at the home, Shanann texted McKenna to check on her daughters. McKenna recalled the girls were wearing nightgowns. She could not recall which one was wearing which, but she stated one was wearing a nightgown with blue stars and hearts, and the other was wearing a peach color with stars. McKenna said Shanann posted a picture of Celeste on her Facebook account that evening at approximately 10:33 p.m. Celeste was wearing a peach-colored top. McKenna showed me that posting, and I took a photo of what Shanann posted. McKenna recalled that after Chris left, she saw his brown work truck parked on the street. She said the truck had mechanical stuff in the back. McKenna said that Chris returned home at approximately 10:30 p.m. and he apologized for being late and said he was stuck in traffic. I think he was stuck in something else, not traffic. Chris paid McKenna for babysitting, and then she left his home. McKenna said her mother, Jennifer, was waiting outside from approximately 10 until Chris arrived home. Jennifer drove McKenna home. I asked McKenna if Chris drank alcohol, and she said neither Chris nor Shanann drink alcohol. McKenna stated the following day, on the 12th, Chris, Celeste, and Bella came to their home for a birthday party for her younger brother. Celeste and Bella are friends of her younger brother. McKenna recalled Chris and his daughters left her home at about 3:30 p.m. McKenna said Shanann's phone number is blah, blah, blah. She is friends with Shanann on Facebook, and she said Shanann is very active on social media. McKenna also knew about Shanann being pregnant. McKenna said that Chris had asked Shanann to have another child. McKenna recalled that both Bella and Celeste suffered from asthma and had been in and out of the hospital. After speaking with McKenna, I spoke with her mother, Jennifer Lindstrom, for a brief time, and the conversation with Jennifer was not recorded. I asked Jennifer if she recalled what vehicle Chris was driving when he came home on Saturday night, and she said he was driving his white Lexus, and when he got home he pulled right into the garage, and she did not know if anyone else was in the vehicle. Jennifer said Shanann was very active on Facebook and social media, and she used the Snapchat account also. So then he asks her for some social media accounts, and I asked Jennifer who knew the Watts the best, and she recalled that when the Watts moved from Colorado, from North Carolina, they lived with Jean prior to moving into their home. She did not have a contact info or last name for Jean and wasn't certain if the Wattses were still friends with Jean. Jennifer provided no further information. After meeting with McKenna and the family, I returned to the police department. Investigation continues. Did I read? I don't know if I read. When she was in the home babysitting, Shanann texted McKenna to check on her daughters. Okay, so that's the babysitter and the parents' interviews. Some more insight on the relationship, well, their perception of the relationship. Some more insight on the kids on the night of the 11th, before the birthday party, at the birthday party. And some more insight that Chris is on the phone with Mommy and what Mommy is saying to Chris, and then what Jeremy's saying. Still have lots more to comb through, lots more to go through. Now, for the 80,000 messages I'm getting about some picture on another website that's been altered to look like something, sorry guys. It's going to be the same thing for me as the shadows. I see the shadow under the car. I told you I cannot make up anything other than a back and forth motion. The jean thing is just too similar, like with the hoodie on top, that's exactly the same to me. I don't see that, and I know some of you do. You don't have to get angry with me. I don't see it. Now this other thing looks like a Sims character to me. Do you remember the Sims? That's what it looks like. I don't see where that came out of what was there. Sorry, I'm not seeing that. And I hate to be the pin that burst the bubble, but you're asking me what I think, and I'm telling you what I think. I don't think that. I think it's probably just my nature, okay? If I saw something right off the bat, but all of this, blowing it up. Now we're putting it in editing software. Now we're using, I don't know, some instances using simulators, Photoshop. I don't know what they're doing, okay? But I could probably make something look like a lot of other things too if I did that. I don't know. I think that it's kind of reaching. It's just reaching. It's getting further and further out every day. And, I don't know. I mean, I don't see it. Anyway, if other people do, then go for it, send it in and see what happens. Go for it. But you're asking my opinion. I don't see it. It looks like a Sims character to me. Anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. And thank you so much for watching. And I will talk to you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.